Welcome back, grade 12s, to our preparatory examination English file paper 1 by Miss T.L.L. And in this second episode, we are still on visual literacy. We're now going to analyze and revise tips and nuggets on how to successfully interpret an advertisement. The first concept that we need to remember is the issue of the target audience. Please refrain from using the word everyone for a target market. Each and everything that is being made out there has its own unique unique target audience. So you need to check how the advertiser has used grabbing, if not persuading techniques to lure in the targeted audience to use that particular product. And remember that advertisement can also advertise service, so don't be fixated on the idea that an advert is only for products. You need to also check the language that is used by the advertiser. In grade 12, I expect you to thoroughly understand which or the form or the level of language that is used in a message of the advertisement. Whether is it persuasive language, maybe in a form of hyperbole such as exaggeration, so that you are convinced and the correct market will be attracted to use that particular product, advertised or service. Or the advertiser may also include what we call emotive language, any language that evokes emotions. The use of an image. Once you see a picture, ask yourself, how does the picture help to support the message? Because there must be marriage, if not a correlation, between the picture that is being used as well as the message. They must go hand in glove in such a way that they help to support one another, with the main objective being that to attract the targeted audience. You also need to make a note of any additional information such as telephone numbers, website addresses, and also it may be inclusion of social media, website, and so forth. The purpose, therefore, it will be for the customer to get more information based on the advertised product. And then also, please go and look at the AIDA principle that I unpacked in one of my previous lessons, so that you understand how advertisers actually use advertisement techniques to grab the readers, if not the target audience attention. So you look into those, and then again I will repeat what I've said when we were doing a cartoon. Don't be in a hurry to go to questions. Please unpack the advertisement and unpack the skills that are used there, or the techniques that are used in an advertisement to grab the reader's attention, and then go to the questions. The issue of font size also plays a significant role. A font size in cartoons, remember I said, is to show that the character is screaming, shouting, or saying the words louder. However, in an advertisement now, when words are bolded with a capital letters, is merely to grab the reader's attention firstly, and secondly to emphasize the message. And then now you look into an advert, you study the advert, and then ask yourself there's two basic questions. What is advertised here? And please don't confuse a brand and a product. For an example, Samsung is a brand, it's not a product, but Samsung cell phone can be a product. Ask yourself, what is being advertised? How did the advertiser convince me to use this product? And you can only get that when you carefully study also the message. So from the message, actually you'll be in a position to deduce and to understand what or who is the correct target market for the advertised product or service. So you need to be specific when you answer the question of a target audience. You can't use the word everyone. So you need to unpack the message, because from the message you then get an idea, if not an indication, as to who would go and buy the advertised product or service. Now this is the November 2022 paper 1, and then let us look into this advert together. The first thing that I see a parachute, and then I see the word new mini bubbly, and then I see we've got an interesting character here, and then there's a rabbit parachuting, and then the words new mini bubbly. Look at the words. Remember I said words are important, or the message is also important. We go down again, the rabbit is parachuting, and then here now I see a chocolate, and then you look at the chocolate, Remember, we've got many chocolates, okay? So you need to understand what is so unique about this one that is advertised. The brand that I see here is Cadbury. It's Cadbury chocolate. I see Cadbury chocolate, and then the word bubbly, dairy milk, bubbly. So once I see dairy milk, meaning that milk is one of the ingredients used here, and then I see the word bubbly, and here are the small bubbles here in the chocolate's wrapper. And then now I continue to analyze. Remember, we go to the message. Cadbury dairy milk bubbly chocolate minis. Minis, it means something small, remember? And then the milk chocolate, and then already, remember when I've said that reading is important, and reading for meaning, it's also important, because from the message we should be able to deduce the correct target audience. Now the chocolate, already we have seen that they talk about milk, so I've already said that milk is one of the ingredients used. Now you look at the message. The message is very important, because that's where you get to actually get most of your responses from the message itself. So you must really understand what the message, or what is that the advertiser, and how the advertiser rather use the words to grab the reader's attention. Cadbury dairy milk bubbly chocolate minis, the milk chocolate with yummy chocolate. The word yummy, it means it's very delicious. Bubbles in bit-sized treats. Remember, bit-sized, it means small amount, and then already it correlates with the word what minis, right? And then we've got another word, bubbles. And when we are analyzing the chocolate's wrapper, we indeed saw bubbles. Remember, visual literacy is all about the skill to interpret what you see. Discover the joy. This is a bit of emotive language, because joy evokes emotion. Remember, I said you should be in a position to identify whether the advertiser has used persuasive language or emotive language, being it a language that evokes emotions. Discover the joy of sharing with a lot of minis. This minis actually refers to what? To a chocolate. And then a slogan. Remember, a slogan is a short phrase that helps to sell a particular product or service. It says, welcome to Joyville. Now when you look at the suffix ville actually indicates what? A place. It normally used for a place. And then what kind of a place are we talking about here? We are talking about a joyful place. So it says welcome to Joyville. And then when I look again, remember, you study each and every detail, no matter how small the detail might be. I see two glasses. It is just a pity that the cartoon is actually black and white. I wanted it to be in color so that you can understand. Say welcome to Joyville. So I see two glasses. What are they doing? They are pouring into the slogan. This is a technique that is used by an advertiser. Ask yourself this question: what are the ingredients that are used for a chocolate? I've already indicated that it's milk. So this is milk and chocolate pouring into the slogan, and the slogan says welcome to Joyville. So therefore you ask yourself, why welcome to Joyville? It means that by having a bit of or having this chocolate, one will be transported to Joyville, where you'll feel how joyful. It does not mean literally. So it's a metaphorical representation of the feeling of excitement or the feeling of joy. So it's represented like as if you are the chocolate will transport you to a place of joy, not literally, but it's a figurative expression, metaphorically representing what the feeling of joy. So these are all the techniques that the advertiser here has used to grab the reader's attention. Once you have done that, you have unpacked the message accordingly. You are able now to deduce the kind of language that is used in a message to convince the reader. You have also checked every small detail. It might be a slogan, it might be. Then ask yourself this question: who is the correct target market? And you look at how this product is advertised to you. For me, it will be people who love chocolate, people with a sweet tooth, or parents who want to buy chocolate for their children. So once you have done all of that I have just done here, unpacking, you may even use a pencil in examinations just to say, oh, this is a slogan, this is the picture. And then now, remember what I've said with the use of a picture. Ask yourself, how does the picture support the message? You do all of that before you go to the questions. And what we said, remember, you don't need to struggle. You write what you see. And the answers are actually in the advertisement itself. Remember, in the opening analysis, I said, this is a rabbit parachuting. And they say, welcome to Joyville. A parachute, it's something that takes you from the ground to up in the air, right? So it's a form of transportation. So it does support the message, because it says mini bubblies, meaning that by having a chocolate, one can be transported to what? To Joyville. And then we have a rabbit parachuting. Also, not only parachuting, it's also, remember, carrying the chocolate itself. That says dairy milk bubbly. So once you have done all of that, that is when now you can start to go to the questions. Let us check the questions. And indeed, the first question says, who is the target audience in this advertisement? You do not say everyone. We have done the analysis, and from the analysis already we know the answer. People who love chocolate or people with sweet tooth, but to be more specific, the most accurate one, it will be people who love chocolate, right? Refer to the headline, write the word mini. So the word mini actually means miniature. In full, it means miniature. Question 3.3. How does the advertiser emphasize the chocolate has? Let me just do this quickly. How does the advertiser emphasize that the chocolate has bubbles? And then please, question interpretation is very crucial. Grade 12's question interpretation is very important. It says that how does the advertiser emphasize that the chocolate has what? Bubbles. And then it says what? Give 2 points. Please give 2 points. And then you check the mark allocation is also 2. You go back to the advert. Don't assume that you understand the advert or you know the advert. Always go back and then we study the advert. I can remember we needed 2 facts to show that the advertiser has repeated or emphasized the word what? Bubbles. Now we look at the advertisement again. The first headline is set. You can say in the parachute, the word bubbly, it's written here, bolded. That is the first fact. The second fact, the chocolate wrapper, it's also written bubbly, and then there are also bubbles around or in the chocolate wrapper. In the chocolate wrapper. So that's how you get your two facts here. Now let us go to another question. Right. Quote 2 consecutive words to show that the advertised product is easy to eat. Please, the question of quoting and consecutive words, it means they follow one another in that sentence. And then don't exceed the required number of words when quoting. If the examiner says quote 3, don't quote more than 3. And I would advise that to show that you are in grade 12, you must be in a position to use quotation marks and enclose them. And then we only need 2 consecutive. Remember, consecutive, it means words that follow one another in a sentence. And then to show that the advertised product is easy to eat, again, what do? You go back to the advertisement. We need 2 words to show that the advertisement, the chocolate is easy to eat. And then we only need how many words? 2 words. In the message, we have the word bite-sized, close quotation marks. And then we also have the word mini bubbly, because mini, it means something that is actually relatively small and it can be easy to eat. So you can say mini bubbly, or you can say bit-sized in quotation marks. And then this question is actually a language-based question 3.5, and you must not be shocked to see language questions in visual literacy, both advertisement and cartoons. Now you look, and here the examiner is looking for homonym. The word homonyms actually mean words that are spelled the same, words that are pronounced the same, but their meaning might be different. So you look at how the word treat is used in a sentence. The milk chocolate has yummy chocolate bubbles, which are a treat. Remember, anything that precedes an article a or n or there, actually we call it what? We call that a noun. Anything that comes after articles such as there, a, n, it is indeed what? A noun. So it means that the word treat here is used as a noun. So when an examiner says use a homonym in a sentence of your own, it means you must not repeat the same function or purpose or meaning that is in the question, but you need to come up with your own. So in a sentence of my own, I would say I treat my kids with kindness. I've repeated the word treat But here it's no longer a noun. Indeed, here it's what? It's a verb, because it shows the action that I'm performing. I'm treating my kids. I treat my kids with what? With kindness. So please be mindful of such language questions. And then explain why the advertisement has included the slogan, "Welcome to Joyville." So in essence, what the question needs, remember I speak a lot about question interpretation. What the question needs is your ability to unpack the slogan with key reference to the advertised product. And what, if you can realize the skills that I'm trying to show you, is that if you analyze the advertisement accordingly, remembering the concepts of advertisement such as slogan, picture, the kind of language used, the target audience, message that is used, logos and so forth, you remember all of that, you will realize that when you get to the question section, you already have the answers from the analysis itself. Now, when I was analyzing the slogan, I said the suffix "ville" refers to a place, and then the advertiser uses the word, remember, explain. If it says you must explain why, grade 12s, this is a 2 marks question. Please learn to fully substantiate your responses. Don't answer, give a partly or partially answered responses. Drive the point home in your response. Let it be a well-rounded response, because once you say explain why, I'm interested in the details. So you can't just give short answers whereas examiners are saying explain why. Question interpretation is actually important. Now, you will say the slogan, "Welcome to Joyville," infer or implies that by having the mini bubbly chocolate, one will be in a state of joy or happy. So Joyville, it's a metaphorical representation of a place that is filled with joy, but it does not mean literally you'll be at that particular place. But however, it implies the feeling of happiness or the feeling of joy. So can you hear this is a well-rounded response? Please learn to do that. And then the last question, it's an open-ended question. Do you think the visual of 2 glasses above the slogan support the message of the advertisement? And then what does it say? Substantiate. I'm going to repeat again. Learn to fully respond to questions. Substantiate and do you think. Once you see do you think, it means that you must fully reason with substantive reasoning for that matter. So you must fully study fully respond to the question. Now let us go to the advertisement again and look as to how the 2 glasses are placed. And remember, in advertisement, you don't need to struggle. You simply write what you see. Use those adjectives to describe the image that is included there. Whenever you come across a question that requires the use of a picture, use correct, if not appropriate, adjectives to simply discuss what you are seeing. If you see a baby crying, write that the image shows a baby crying. So let us go to the advert again and check whether the 2 glasses there has supported the message of the advertisement. Here is the slogan, "Welcome to Joyville." And what do you see? You interpret exactly what you see. You say yes, the 2 glasses do support the message of the advertisement. The glasses are above the slogan that state "Welcome to Joyville," and they are pouring chocolate and milk, which are the 2 ingredients used in the to make the chocolate. So therefore, the 2 glasses correlate, if not support, the message of the advertisement. Can you hear the response? The response is well substantiated. At times, examiners will not. At times, every time the last question it will be, did the advertiser convince you to buy the advertised product or service? Always, I would condition you, if not advise you to say, always say yes, because you can just go back to the very same advert that you have just analyzed to deduce your answers. And then in such a response of a higher order question, please don't repeat the same idea over and over again. For an example, let us change this question to say, what if the examiner said, did the advertiser convince you to buy mini bubbly chocolate? Say yes. You can talk about the slogan as well as the picture. So you have 2 facts, then you collected 2 marks. So I will say yes, the advertiser used emotive language to say that in the slogan "Welcome to Joyville" to imply that once you eat a chocolate, you'll be in a state of joy or happiness. The advertiser also used a picture of a rabbit parachuting to the sky, holding with a chocolate tied to its leg, to emphasize that one can be transported to a place of joy. Therefore, the advertiser succeeded in convincing me to buy the advertised product. Listen to that response. It has both the visual clue as well as the verbal clue, which is the message. So if you want to get to grab a distinction in English, learn a key question interpretation. Secondly, leave no stone unturned in your responses, especially higher order questions. Learn to go all out, because questions based on advertisement, the questions you are looking at the responses in the question paper itself. What therefore you need to do is just to take that, paraphrase that into your own words, and fully substantiate your responses. Thank you and good luck once more.